What's been the darkest place you ever gone in your
Oh
mind?
my God. What the? You wrote that down? In my mind?
In your mind, you ever consider suicide? I
Have you?
didn't write that
Okay,
down.
have you considered it?
In the distance.
Yeah. I've distantly thought about it. You know, about 4 months ago, I was in a really bad place. I was naked in a hotel room in Arizona. I hadn't eaten in like almost a week. I hadn't slept in over a week. I haven't slept, and I thought I was dying. I was coughing up blood, and I was waiting to go into a outpatient psychologist place. You know what I mean? In Arizona, I literally thought I was dying. So recently, I was in a very dark place.
How much was that connected to losing your father? How much was that connected to rehab and that kind of stuff? Alcohol,
It's all
drugs.
the same thing, dude. It's all the same thing, man. It's all from my childhood, right? The reason why I do stand up is because of my childhood.
The hating yourself or like being self-critical that has to do with your childhood.
Yes.
So the drugs and drinking is childhood.
Childhood. It's all about survival and protecting your heart. And there were ways that I did that as a kid, like using humor as a defense mechanism, and also avoidance of all emotions. You know what I mean? Because I just want to feel. And I'm able. The reason why comedy is so good. The reason why I was able to survive in comedy is because I can withstand a lot of bullshit and pain. You know what I mean? Like physical, emotional, spiritual pain. I can absorb it, right? But now what's happened, later in life is I'm unwilling to do that. I'm unwilling to absorb it. I'm unwilling to carry this weight around with me, and it'll kill me. So I am doing everything I can to free myself of all this baggage.
Okay, so how you're naked in Arizona in a hotel room, face down or face up or on the side? Or what's your
So
favorite when you go to a dark place?
no,
On the floor, on the bed, or
So what happened was
bathtub, shower?
a fetal position.
Okay,
I don't lay on my stomach. That's weird. Like I'm not doing like a downward
okay,
dog or yoga position or anything like that. No, I'm
sure.
like
On the bed, on the
no.
floor.
What happened was, so I had relapsed. So I was doing drinking all night long.
What was the first relapse? What is the first thing you did? Just drank what? Wine?
No, I
Uh,
took an edible. Yeah,
and that opened the door?
to drinking. Yeah, and the combination is not good for me. Um, and excess of the amount is not good for me. I just can't stop, and I do it 24 hours a
Were
day.
you alone?
Well, no, I was living with Kalila.
No, I mean at that moment when you do the edibles.
I was alone. No, I took a flight because I was shooting Magnum. I'm on a show called Magnum PI. So I was flying to Hawaii. So I bought edibles, and then on right before I was gonna get on the plane, I looked at my girlfriend and said, "I'm gonna relapse."
Oh, so you knew.
I knew. So I got on the plane. I took it, and then literally the next 3 months were like a blur.
Why'd you know? What gave you the sense that you're gonna relapse?
There was a couple of things that happened in my life that were very shocking to me, and I I wasn't going to meetings, and it's the same old story. I was not connected to my sobriety brothers and sisters, and I was drifting away, and
And something in your mind, it was just too
the
much.
pain was too much. So I did it, and then so what happened was, now 2.5 months in, 3 months in, I started coughing up chunks of blood. Right. So because I've been a smoker since I was 17 years old. Right. And I was smoking so much weed and cigarettes that I would just cough up blood. But then simultaneously, what happened was Bob Saget and Louis Anderson died. right? And that week, when I was coughing up blood, and because I knew them, both of them, I just in my head going, I'm next. Because to me, everything happens in threes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, and I had convinced myself that I was going to die and I was on the precipice of death. And so I begged my people to put me into this place in Arizona. So, because I knew I needed to go to a really rigorous psychology program to get me out of what I was going through. And also I was getting, at that time when I was in that hotel room, I had not drank or even smoked a cigarette or done drug in a week. I had to wait in LA for this bed to open up, right? So I was coughing up blood. I hadn't slept. I hadn't eaten, right? I was sober, but, I was in so much pain. And I slept naked by the door of this hotel room because I thought it would be easier for the maid to discover my body. I mean, that's how fucked up I was. I was just in this prison in my mind, and I'm much better now.
Can you give some insights to how to get out of that place? How you got out of that place?
I think getting sober, first of all, was very important, but that still didn't do it completely. You know what I mean? I still was convinced that I was. And then I went to this place and I did, this place is a 12 hours a day psychotherapy place where you do 12 hours you see therapists all day long.
So it's like a 12-hour long podcast every day.
Yeah, yeah. But with professionals and they call you on your shit and they tell you what's real and they tell you, what I mean, I'm going also dealing with, my dad, still some of these other things that you know what I mean? And the third thing that happened was when I got back to LA after that place, I got my lungs checked out and I got my physical done and EKG, my heart, all of it, and I was completely fine. And I quit smoking. I haven't smoked in almost 4 months. I haven't drank and done drugs since then too. So there's definitely a complete clarity. And I have to also admit that this time around it's just been completely different.
Is there still in the distance a fear of relapse and all that kind of stuff? Is that still
No.
so you feel good?
I feel great. Yeah. I feel better than I've ever felt.
Even when hard shit happens?
Yeah, because it's like I no longer want to be in that place.
Yeah.
And also on top of it, it's like it would be a real shame because I worked so hard to get to this place in my life, not just in my career, with all of it. You know what I mean? I have so much to lose. I have so many people that love me. I just don't want to be there again.